It's Tiger time. Welcome to Tiger Den Sports with your host, Jason Darcy. If you love LSU, you come to the right place. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and like button so you don't miss any LSU content that comes your way. So let's get into the video. Today's episode will be about LSU fall camp preview. We're going to talk about the defensive lineman today. If you missed all my other content about the fall camp preview for LSU, y'all can check out my podcast. I have my podcast uploaded on YouTube. I talked about quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, and offensive linemen already. So if y'all missed it, y'all can go check those out as well. So let's get into it today. If you watch to the end of the video, I'm going to have a surprise that you might not think about when we talk about the defensive lineman. I'm going to tell you if it's a strength or a weakness, so stay tuned. So, if you look at it, last year and maybe 2 years ago, this defensive line has been really good. B.J. Ojulari, Ali Gay, Jaquelin Roy, Jacobian Guillory, Mason Smith, just to name a few. These players, 5 and 4 stars. Look at B.J. Ojulari. He had, 10 sacks last year? 20 tackles for loss? I'm not sure, but what the right stat is, but it's about that range. Ali Gay had over 5 sacks. Jaquelin Roy had over 5 sacks. Jacobian Guillory had 3 or 4 sacks. You got to think about this defensive line in a way that proves that we are the best defensive line in the country. I believe our defensive line is the strength of our team. But like I said, stay tuned to the end because you will be surprised on what I have to say about the defensive line that maybe you did not think about. This defensive line with Jamar Cain as the defensive line coach probably will lead the nation in sacks. Jamar Cain at Oklahoma last year, their defensive line led the nation in sacks, and they don't even have as good as players as LSU does. So let's go through the list real quick. You got Ali Gay, Jaquelin Roy, Jacobian Guillory, B.J. Ojulari. That's probably going to be your starters going into the season as a four down lineman. Let's look at the backups. You got Savion Jones, who is ready for a breakout season. You got Bryce Langston, I believe that's his name. He didn't even play last year as a freshman. He came out of, I think, Florida as a high 4-star with great athleticism. So he got 1 year under his belt, and he's destined for a big season as well. Then you look at the defensive tackles as backups. You got Mason Smith, Mekhi Wingo, who transferred in from a freshman at Missouri. Then you got Quincy Wiggins, a defensive lineman, the number 1 defensive lineman in Louisiana. You got 8 guys right there that is great depth pieces. And I guess you can't say really depth pieces because when you sub in and out, all you're doing is subbing the starters for starters. Because if Mason Smith, Savion Jones, Mekhi Wingo, Quincy Wiggins was at another school, they would probably be starting on the defensive line. So this defensive line right here is destined to be, I think, a historic defensive line at LSU. Now y'all make sure, if y'all enjoying this video, that y'all subscribe and like this video so y'all don't miss what's coming next. We will be previewing the linebackers tomorrow. So y'all hit that like and share and subscribe. So let's finish talking about this defensive line. It is a strength of the defense. I believe it's the best. Besides receivers, I believe the defensive line is the best on the team. With great depth and great stats, big guys, strong guys, B.J. Ojulari is going to have a monster year. He's going to have over 10 sacks, 20 tackles for loss. Ali Gay is going to have close to 10 sacks. tackles for loss. Then you look at Jacobian Guillory, Jaquelin Roy, Mason Smith. I mean, they're going to all have at least close to 10 sacks because of how athletic they are and how good they are as defensive linemen. Now, let's get into the bonus section of the video that I told y'all to watch for. There is one weakness on this defensive line that you may not have thought about, and many people probably didn't think about. Last year with this defensive line, we gave up about over 150 yards rushing a game. That's not good. That was like, I think, 40th, between 40 and 50 in the country last year. That is not good. You want to be ranked in at least the top 10 in rushing defense. So, with that being said, the defensive line is a strength, but there is one weakness that we have to improve upon if we're going to make a big run to a national championship this year. I believe we're going to get 9 wins. But this defensive line has to improve on the run game. If they can just get the rushing yards a game down to, say, 105 yards, 110 yards a game, we're going to be really good and we're going to be unbeatable because every offense, every opponent that plays against us will have to be one-dimensional. They're going to have to pass the ball. Then that defensive line can pin their ears back and rush the passer, get their sacks, get the hits on the quarterback. And if we can do that, this LSU team is destined to be huge.